Matt, it's good to see you. And listen, nothing will ever top Nvidia's last quarter, where they went from, what was it, 7 or 8 billion prior to 11 billion, basically at the drop of a hat. I do wonder about a couple of things, though. We're getting more clarity on just how much of that might have been pre-ordering around concerns about China's crackdown. Could that be a hangover? We're starting to see more competition in the space because people obviously don't want to have to pay Nvidia up to the gills for its technology. So at what point do those concerns start to become more evident in the results, do you think? I doubt it's probably tonight.
That's exactly it. It's not tonight. So I just came back from a supercomputing conference. There, people are still talking about 200+ day lead times to source NVIDIA GPUs. So even with changes in China, and I think at this point it's still a little bit unclear whether NVIDIA will be able to revise its chips to ship into China or not. I think it's unlikely that NVIDIA is able to meet demand through Q2 of next year. And so the question rather becomes simply how many parts can they build? And that's going to define what their results are.
I guess one question, as I read your note, I found myself thinking that even bad news for NVIDIA is good. In other words, that if they can't meet demand, really, what you're saying is that they will eventually meet that demand. It just won't come as quickly as people had hoped.
That's exactly right, Tyler. So when you think about what they're going to guide to, and I think that's the important number. My estimate's just below 17 billion. Of that, like 13.5 is data center GPUs. I think really the expectations or revenues are more 18 to 19 billion. The difference there is all in that data center GPU line. So, 14.5, 15.5 billion. The reality, though, is if they come up light with their guide this quarter, that revenue just pushes. And the reason I say that is, I think Kelly brought up competition earlier. When you look at their competitors, so you've got Intel talking about shipping more than $1 billion worth of AI silicon next year. You've got AMD talking about more than 2 billion. I think people believe it could be as much as 4 billion. But again, just in terms of magnitude, when you're talking about NVIDIA doing 15 billion, 16 billion, if they can't meet demand this quarter, it just means or next quarter, it just means there's more demand further out that they can ship into.
Right. What else would you be watching, Matt? Maybe it's more granular. Maybe it's not. What's the most important data point?
I think it's really understanding how these models are creating revenue, right? A lot of what we're seeing right now is training the models. What we need to see moving forward is applications that drive revenue. And so it's NVIDIA execs, Jensen Collette, talking to us about places they're seeing their end customers come up with new applications that drive revenue and create more demand for further AI silicon moving forward.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point. We'll see with 500, looks like in the cards at the close today, where we are in a couple of hours. Matt, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.